going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the Touchline Podcast. And as always, if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a like, comment down below, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video on this channel. And as you know, in the next 3 weeks, Origin Game 1 will kick off at Accor Stadium, which I'm looking forward to as well as you guys. And the next 2 weeks, the lineups will officially come out. So what a way to start the State of Origin hype than to make my prediction, my starting 13 that I would love to see heading into Game 1 for the New South Wales team. Anyways, the fullback that I'd love to see heading into Game 1 is either between Tedesco or Dylan Edwards. Let's talk about Tedesco first. Of course, last year wasn't the best season for him at Roosters as well as rep footy, including the New South Wales team as well as the Australian team. But yeah, it sort of fell off for him last year, but this year he's really stepped up. He's looking like the old Tedesco back in 2018 to 2019 when he guided Roosters to a back-to-back premiership, and he was outstanding back in the days. And still now he's proving a lot of doubters wrong in what he is capable of doing. But do I think he should be the fullback for 2024 in Game 1? Probably not. I think we need a new era. It's a new era under Maguire, and I think time for change, especially with our defeat last year against Queensland, and we just need change. When you're losing for the last 3 years in State of Origin, changes must be made. And of course, you need to keep a lot of experienced players rather than always getting players that are set to have their debut in Origin. It's very important to keep experienced players like Tedesco, but I think changes must be made. And Dylan Edwards must be the fullback in 2024. He's been outstanding. 5 try assists for Penrith this year, and he has the whole package. What he's been producing this year, and even when Cleary wasn't there, he was the main guy stepping up for them. And it's about time he gets that number 1 jersey heading into 2024 State of Origin. He deserves it. It's about time. He's been working for this moment, and this is the year that I say Dylan Edwards gets the number 1 role. The next position we're going to talk about is, of course, the wing position, and I think it's quite simple who I'm going to be choosing, as well as what Mike Maguire will be selecting when the lineup comes out. That's the Fox, Josh Addo-Carr. And quickly, let's take it back to 2022 when he didn't get selected in all games during that year, and it's quite unfair that he didn't get chosen because he was the best player for the Dogs. 15 to 17 tries that year. It was phenomenal. It was incredible, but again, maybe for playing like a club at Bulldogs who were competing for Wooden Spoon, maybe that's the reason he didn't get selected. 2023, injuries costed him, but Game 3, he came back into the squad and we won that game, of course. And now 2024, I think it's a massive year for Fox, not only for the Bulldogs, but for the Blues as well. And I think if we were to win the series, he's the main reason. He's a try-scoring machine. He has the whole package. He's fast, he's quick. He can help us in many situations, in many difficult areas during a State of Origin match. And we've seen it over the years what he can produce. So I think it's important that Josh Addo-Carr does get selected. But again, we also got To'o that I'm going to be selecting, who I think hasn't been the best this year. I think he's been quite average. I think he's had a few good games, few decent games. I don't think he's had any bad games. But again, Mike Maguire is basing things on forms. I don't know who have been the best wingers in the game. Daniel Tupou is an option. I think he was quite good last year in the Origin. But I think if you want to go for the best wingers in the game, you have to go with Fox and Brian To'o. And again, like I mentioned with Tedesco, you need sometimes experienced players rather than always chopping and changing. So again, we're going to go for Dylan Edwards at fullback, and on the wings, we got, of course, Fox and Brian To'o. Now, in the centre positions, we've got, you can put Turbo in there, you can put Latrell, Zach Lomax, Bradman Best, you can put Tago. But again, first of all, I'm going to put Zach Lomax. What he's done this year, I honestly think he's been the best backline player in 2024. He's been outstanding. What he's done for the Dragons this year is perfection, and it's a no-brainer for me not to put him there. He deserves to be in this. But again, time will tell if he's going to keep this up, if he's going to cement this position for the long term in the next 3 to 4 years, because of course he's played his way out of Dragons. Maybe that's the reason why he's performing. Are we going to see this performance at the Parramatta? Not sure yet, but I think this year, if you're basing on form, Zach Lomax goes in there. And now you've got Turbo and Latrell Mitchell. I don't think I'll put him for 2024 Game 1 at Accor Stadium. Turbo, I think the physicality is on another level. He's going to get injured, and you saw last year in Game 1, his injury affected the whole game and it cost us the game. Damien Cook going into centre, then Nico Hines going into centre. It just stuffed up the whole plan and we lost the series from there. So Turbo, again, injuries is a big concern, and that's why I wouldn't put him. Again, Latrell Mitchell, his mindset's probably not there, and I don't think he's in the right amount of space to play Origin, because again, it's a different level. So therefore, Tago and Bradman Best, we're leaving it to them two. But again, I think Tago has been the better player this year. Bradman Best, I think he's been pretty average, but again, Tago has been the most consistent player who's been performing week in, week out, and that's what you need. Based on form, Tago goes in with Zach Lomax. Alright, the back line is done. We're going on to the halves position, and first of all, Nathan Cleary is the number 7. The best player in the game, the best to ever do it. Maybe not State of Origin yet, but he's a 3P winner, a 3 premiership winner. He's incredible, and again, it's a no-brainer. He goes there, he's the number 7, but the number 6 is the big question mark. You've got Luai, Burden and Hines, and for me, if you want to go Luai, you stay safe. He's got the chemistry, the connection with Cleary. They've been partners since the last 5 years with Penrith, so again, you stay safe, the results may come. But again, I feel Queensland exposed that connection, that chemistry with Luai and Cleary. So again, therefore, I won't pull Luai this year, or maybe just for game 1. I'm going Hines. I think his running game is phenomenal. It's exceptional. Some may say he's a better fullback than he is a halfback, which I somewhat believe. I think halfback, he's a very good player. He's a very consistent player, but when he was at fullback, that running game was such a lethal asset to have. And I think in a game like this, he can expose the Queensland defence. But again, you also got Burden, where his bomb can be crucial. In difficult positions, when times and things are not going right for the Blues, one big Burden bomb can change the whole game and allow us to maybe get the win or score on the Queensland line. So yeah, Burden and Hines are my favourites, but again, I'm just edging Nico Hines for this one. Alright, let's move on to the prop roles. Of course, we've got 2 available. And first of all, I think, again, this is a similar situation to Nathan Cleary. We're going for Payne Haas, of course, the best forward in the game. And for me, I think Nathan Cleary and Payne Haas are the only 2 players in this squad that are guaranteed a State of Origin spot because, again, of their elite status and how good they've been over the last 5 years. And next to him, I'm going for Utz Commander. Of course, last year was his debut season in the Origin. I don't think he performed the best. Of course, there was a lot of pressure on him because, again, at a young age, coming in against a strong Queensland forward pack that absolutely demolished us with Fafita, with Collins. They were outstanding, and again, there was a lot of pressure on him, and he didn't live to the expectation we all wanted him to reach. But again, I think this year he's developed under Benji Marshall. He's been, again, I think up there as the greatest forward in the game this year in 2024, probably the best. I think the best one right now is probably Hazelton from the Cronulla Sharks. But yeah, he's up there. He's been phenomenal. He's a hard running forward, which we need in this squad with Payne Haas. So yeah, I think him and Payne Haas will be a deadly duo and can help us get the series done in 2024. Alright, the number 9 role, we've got either Damien Cook or Coruscant, 2 elite world-class hookers in the game. And again, I think it's quite obvious who I'm going to be selecting, the man in form, Coruscant. 2024 has been a different Coruscant under Benji Marshall. Last year, he was quite inconsistent. Tigers, it wasn't the season they wanted. But again, this year we're seeing a complete different Tigers. And again, Coruscant is the main guy. You can see when he's not in the squad, they're lacking something. And that is Coruscant. That's the player they're lacking. That's the player they're missing. And again, there's something different about Coruscant this year, and again, we're seeing the Coruscant when he was at Penrith. And again, if he doesn't get into this squad, that'll be a big shock. And again, he deserves it. Damien Cook hasn't been the best this year. He's had a few good games, but again, with the season Rabbitohs is having, yeah, it's just fair to say that Coruscant deserves it, and probably Damien Cook will go on the bench this year. Almost done. Now we're focusing on the edges. We've got Kilimatagi, Angus Crichton, Olakuwatu, Hudson Young, Tyson Frizzell. So many good options, well-experienced players that all deserve a spot in the New South Wales Game 1 at Accor Stadium. But again, there's only 2 available spots. First of all, Angus Crichton deserves it. He's the one that 100% gets into this squad. He's an 80-minute player. Again, last 2 years he hasn't been in the game due to mental issues, personal issues, and man, this has worked out for him. We have seen the old Angus Crichton this year. He's a try-scoring machine. Like I said, he's a 80-minute player. He does not stop. Defensively good, attackingly good. And imagine him working with Cleary and Burden or Hines. It will be incredible to watch, and he could be a massive player in the Origin this year and can destroy that left-hand side of Queensland. Depending where he plays, it could be on the right-hand side. And alongside him, we're going for Olukwatu. I think it's about time he deserves his chance in the Origin. He's been working hard. Again, he's a sort of player like Angus Crichton, try-scoring machine. He works hard. He does all the dirty work, and that's what you need in Origin. He does suit Origin. He's an Origin player, whereas I feel Hudson Young isn't an Origin player. I think he does well for Raiders, but again, when he's playing for Origin, I just didn't see that skill he had for Raiders for State of Origin in 2023. So I think Crichton and Olukwatu will do so good for the Blues, and again, that could be our edge for the next 5 years because that's how good they are. Now in the lock position, the final position, I think it's quite easy, and I think he's going to be the lock for 2024 in the State of Origin, and that is Azayo. You could put Cameron Ryan, but again, he's out. He won't be playing game 1, so it's quite easy one. Azayo will be the lock in 2024. Before we wrap up the video, a few substitutes that will happen maybe in this year's Origin. You've got Burden. I think he should be the utility. You look at last year, Charbel got injured and we put a hooker in centre, and we also put Nico Hines in centre, and that cost us the whole series. So if we had a utility player like Burden last year, we would have not lost the series, and I honestly think we would have won 2023's Origin. So that's a mistake we have to learn from and put Burden there. We've got Liam Martin. He's a type of player that can delve into players' scheme, cause a lot of problems, and that's what he's good at. He can get players angry and maybe force Queens to have a player down, sin bin him, whatever. That's what he's good at. He's a hard-working player, and him coming off the bench, he will be a fantastic asset. So Liam Martin, Burden, and maybe even Junior Paulo, an experienced prop that has been in the Blue squad for a couple of years now, and we need a player like him. He's a hard-working prop. He's very fast for a forward like him. He causes a lot of damage in the middle of the pack, in the middle of the ruck, which we need. And if Utkamanu, he's young, he's still learning. If things are not going his way, Junior Paulo, you get an experienced player that knows what it means to play in the Origin. So yeah, those are a few substitutes that may happen in 2024 in the Origin game.